Welcome to Better World Technologies in the Chat Room. In the Chat Room is a dynamic interview series where industry leaders, innovators, and experts gather to share their insights on ever-evolving landscape of technology and business. Each episode dives into compelling conversations with thought leaders across cybersecurity, compliance, sustainability, and IT management, offering executives and business professionals an inside look at trends, challenges, and actionable strategies that drive success in today's digital-first world. I'm your host, Matt Bauer, co-founder and director at Better World Technology, and we're excited to have in the chat room with us today Daniel Eliot, who is lead for small business engagement in the Applied Cybersecurity Division at the National Institute of Standards and Technology, which most of us know as NIST. Welcome, Daniel.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, Daniel, let's start with your background and your position at NIST. Fill us in on who you are and your day-to-day focus and how you got to where you are.
Yeah, so I am as you said, the lead for small business engagement at NIST within the Applied Cybersecurity Division. So, I coordinate across NIST, across government, and outside of government to really create opportunities for the small business community to engage with NIST guidance, our resources, and our subject matter expertise. And so I've been with NIST for a little over a year now, but prior to NIST, I worked in MITRE at the Center for Securing the Homeland, which supported a NIST facility, the National Security Center of Excellence. And before that, I was the lead for small business engagement and open partnership engagement with the National Cybersecurity Alliance, and have done all sorts of small business related work throughout my career. Worked at the University of Delaware in their Small Business Development Center, and so the bulk of my career has been focused on small businesses, supporting them, helping them grow. And a major component of that has been helping them grow with security in mind in particular. And so I'm happy to be able to kind of continue doing that at NIST, leveraging all the great resources and expertise and hopefully adding some new content and support and resources as well.
Awesome. Well, let's take a step back for our audience members who might not be familiar with NIST. What does NIST do? And then in the focus of your area of small business and cybersecurity and your focus there.
Yeah, so the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, is part of the bureau within the Department of Commerce. And the mission of NIST is to promote U.S. innovation and industrial competitiveness. And we do that by advancing measurement science, standards, and technology in ways that enhance economic security and improve our quality of life. So we have programs focused on national priorities such as artificial intelligence, advanced manufacturing, the digital economy, precision metrology, quantum science, biosciences, and of course, cybersecurity. So NIST is vast in the amount of work that they do. And we're organized. All of that work is organized into 6 different research laboratories. And so I'm within the Information Technology Laboratory. And below that, I'm within the Applied Cybersecurity Division within the Information Technology Laboratory. And we really focus on cultivating trust in information technology and metrology. And so we do that using world-class measurement and testing facilities and encompassing a wide range of areas of computer science and mathematics and statistics and systems engineering, and in collaboration with stakeholders from all around the world in order to have high quality, independent, and unbiased research and standards and data for not only the business community, but for the government and for all consumers of information technology, for that matter.
So let's classify, or how do you classify a small business, and let's kind of dive into the work that you're doing, maybe touch on the Small Business Cybersecurity Act and CSF 2.0, giving some details around that.
Well, I use the US, I don't want to redefine small business because the U.S. Small Business Administration does that for us, right? So, Small Business Administration generally defines a small business as fewer than 500 employees. The majority of those, though, are not 500 employees.
Right.
The majority, actually over 80% of the small businesses documented by the SBA are non-employer. So it's just the single owner operator, no employees, no paid employees on payroll. And then after that, a significant majority is micro business with fewer than 10 employees. So when I look at small business from NIST's perspective, I'm really looking at that micro business of 10 or fewer employees, since that encompasses a significant portion of the small business community. And that portion is often significantly under-resourced when it comes to cybersecurity in particular. And so that's why I try to, that's the audience I'm trying to target with some of our outreach. Now, there are essentially two acts, congressional acts that task NIST with providing outreach and education to the nation's small business community. So there's the Cybersecurity Enhancement Act of 2014 and the NIST Small Business Cybersecurity Act of 2018. And essentially, both direct NIST to disseminate cybersecurity technical standards and best practices that small businesses may use voluntarily to help identify, assess, manage, and reduce their cybersecurity risks. And I say voluntarily, that's important because NIST is a non-regulatory agency, right? So all of our standards and frameworks are voluntary for use. And with the Small Business Cybersecurity Act of 2018 in particular, they tasked NIST with, again, helping small businesses identify, assess, and manage and reduce their cybersecurity risks, and producing resources that are technology neutral. So we're, of course, not saying, hey, use this service or this technology. They're based on international standards, which all of our work is based on international standards, or is informed by international standards, I should say. That they vary with the nature and size of the business. Again, you can't have a one-size-fits-all resource because businesses have varying regulatory environments and resource constraints and all sorts of different things. And so a one-size-fits-all doesn't work for any kind of organization. And then the resources have to be kind of diverse. And so one of the outcomes of the Small Business Cybersecurity Act was our NIST Small Business Cybersecurity Corner website, which was published in 2018. And it's really a hub of all of NIST's small business cybersecurity resources. There are like 70 resources on the site, all tailored to small business. They include short videos and tip sheets and case studies and quick start guides. They're all free, and they're all drawn from information produced by not only NIST, but other federal agencies like FBI, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, SBA, as well as nonprofit organizations. And so they're regularly updated and expanded to keep the content fresh. And so, I encourage organizations, if they're looking for small business cybersecurity resources, to check out the NIST Small Business Cybersecurity Corner website, because it really houses a lot of information that not only can you use to manage and reduce your own cybersecurity risks, but you can use it in your employee training, for instance. A lot of people email us saying, hey, do you have resources to use for us for our employee training or security awareness training? It's like, well, yeah, you can go to this website and use any of these for free in your own training. So it's a great resource, and we encourage people to check it out. Definitely.
Awesome. And so the CSF 2.0 was published in February. Tell us more about the cybersecurity framework, these quick start guides and resources that you were just mentioning that you have. on your site. What are the resources released around that? What are the impacts of that or the opportunities around CSF2? And what is it?
Yeah, so the CSF, so the Cybersecurity Framework 2.0, like you said, it was published, I think, February 26th of this year. And CSF, we don't look at it as just a publication. CSF 2.0 is a collection of resources that helps organizations, regardless of size or sector or maturity, better understand, assess, prioritize, and communicate their cybersecurity efforts across the enterprise. And so the CSF is a collection of security outcomes that one may strive to achieve to manage their cybersecurity risks. And again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but due to the diversity of organizations and missions and regulatory environments and resources, it's not a one-size-fits-all either, right? It's flexible to help organizations of different types approach managing cybersecurity risks. And so when I said it's not just a single publication, it's a collection of resources, you mentioned quick start guides. We released, along with the cybersecurity framework in February, a whole host of quick start guides to help organizations kind of engage better with the content of the CSF. So there's one on cybersecurity supply chain risk management. There's one on enterprise risk management. Again, helping you kind of contextualize these topics within the CSF. One that I specifically authored is the Small Business Quick Start Guide. And that's really, it can be looked at as a primer or an on-ramp to the CSF 2.0 for smaller organizations. There was a clear desire for NIST, or by industry, for NIST to create a small business-focused cybersecurity framework resource. And it really provides those who have modest or no cybersecurity plans in place with considerations to kickstart their cybersecurity risk management strategy using the NIST cybersecurity framework. Now, beyond quick start guides, I mean, this could be a whole podcast in itself. There were released implementation examples, which is new. And these are more granular. So we kind of start broadly with functions like govern, identify, protect. And then as you move through the framework, the content, the outcomes get more granular. And the most granular part of the framework are these implementation examples that illustrate ways to achieve each of these outcomes. They're not exhaustive. They're just some suggestions to get people thinking about ways to start achieving these outcomes. And those implementation examples really fed the content of that small business quick start thing. There's also community profiles. There are mapping tools. For instance, if you want to see kind of the changes between CSF 1.1 and 2.0, there's a spreadsheet, a transition spreadsheet where you can see the changes that were made to help aid in your transition between the two versions. And so a ton of resources I haven't even scratched the surface of, but those are some of the highlights.
Awesome. And we'll come back to that and how folks can find all these resources. And, I guess sort of starting to kind of bring it home, ask a big question here. We're seeing it offering services to, the group that you're speaking to, which are small business up to 500. And we're hearing this, it won't happen to me, or I'm too small, or, what it may, the realities of cybersecurity now are really impacting everyone and something everybody needs to pay attention to. So looking into your crystal ball, what things are coming on the horizon from this, but also the realities for small businesses and all businesses, really, in terms of this becoming a, standard part of doing business, right? Is you're going to have to be addressing this in months, years, whatever it may be. It's on the way, and it's going to become part of what you have to deal with.
Very few businesses are using paper and pencil to run their entire business, right? Mm-hmm. Let's be real. The majority of businesses, if not, maybe we could say all, are using the internet in some form or fashion to operate their business. And so with that comes risk, comes cybersecurity risk. And so you're right, it is the nature of running a business today, it is inherent. And you got to think that it's not only operating your business and the risks that kind of are posed to your business, cybersecurity risks that are posed to your business, but you have to think about you're doing business with other businesses, right? And what are the risks that you could introduce to those businesses? So there are a lot of, speaking of supply chain, a lot of pressure coming onto businesses from their suppliers or their customers or their regulators, all saying you need to take cybersecurity seriously. And so it is a matter of doing business, and it's incorporating cybersecurity into your overall risk management for your business in order to keep your business resilient and operating in the face of various dangers or risks. Now, what's coming from NIST, there are some additional resources that will be published in fiscal year 25 coming out. I'm hoping to do a quick start guide for special publication 800-171, which is protecting confidential, controlled unclassified information. There's also, we're working on other quick start guides for the cybersecurity framework. We're looking at publishing doing a revision of the NIST IR 7621, which is the NIST's Small Business Information Security Fundamentals publication. So we'll be issuing a new version, very, very different version of that coming out. And so there are some new resources that'll be coming. But we'll continue to engage the small business community in all of our communities of interest that we have, that you can access via our Small Business Cybersecurity Corner website, our distribution list that people can sign up for to receive notifications about all of our small business efforts. We have webinars that will be coming out in 2025, a continuation of our webinar series from last year that we launched. And so a lot of ways to kind of stay abreast of what we're doing and what we're producing, and also not only just kind of consuming information from us, but also ways to provide input to us. I want to hear from small businesses. That's why you and I met, because I was out in Colorado, right? I was in Colorado engaging with subject matter experts and small businesses. And I want to have those discussions. I want to hear from the small business community and those who support them so that NIST can continue to be impactful to this audience and with this community.
Well, that feeds perfectly into my last question, which is how can the audience learn more? How can they interact with you and participate in all these great things you're talking about?
Yeah, I think the best way is to join, again, one of our communities of interest. We have one for owners and operators and one for vendors and resource partners. They meet quarterly, so it isn't a huge, pull of your time. Just meet quarterly for an hour to hear from subject matter experts or guest speakers, or to talk to each other, have candid discussions, and share input and challenges. Also, you can email us, smallbizcybersecurity@nist.gov, if you have a question or an idea. There's also, again, you can subscribe, be a passive participant by subscribing to our listserv. And all of those can be accessed via our NIST Small Business Cybersecurity Corner website.
Awesome. Well, Daniel, thank you. Really great to have you in the chat room, and looking forward to working with you on down the road. And to our audience, thank you for watching in the chat room with Federal Technology. To dive deeper into our episodes and learn more, visit betterworldtechnology.com. Stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel for exclusive content, behind the scenes insights, and more. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow us on Spotify and tell a colleague. Keep innovating, keep connecting, and we'll see you next time.